KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. You could be paying at least $33 more on your monthly water bill. The decision now rests in the hands of the Public Utilities Commission.
The Marianas for Palestine, a peaceful protest outside of the CNMI legislature on Saipan today. I'm Tomas Manglonia with the story as advocates call for a permanent ceasefire.
Teaching youngsters how to communicate at an early age. Parents learning innovative ways to help their children outside of a classroom setting.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day.
Well, that's the one-year anniversary for a father beaten to death by two drunken men in Dededo, just days away.
Murder defendants and brothers Jaren Wallaby and Branty Wallaby were back in Superior Court this week. Both stand accused in the December 11th killing of Arno Narun. One brother is taking the prosecution's plea deal. The other is still fighting for his freedom. Now, defense for Jaren Wallaby told Judge Alberto Lamareno they have accepted the plea offer. Details of the agreement have not yet been made public. Jaren is scheduled to admit guilt on December 6.
Meantime, co-defendant Branty Wallaby still prepared to fight the allegations at trial. As we reported, Narun died after being brutally beaten along Santa Lourdes Street in Dededo last December. Investigators say he died from blunt force trauma.
Nearly 40 pounds of methamphetamine was seized in the mail. The details made public in more than a dozen cases unsealed today in the District Court of Guam. The feds executed the search warrants on the packages between May 2020 and April 2022.
The drugs were sent to Guam from multiple states, including Oregon, Utah, California, Nevada, and Texas. Each were addressed to local post office boxes and residents across the island. Investigators have not confirmed if any of the meth seized resulted in anyone being charged for trying to smuggle in the drugs. You can see the list of unsealed court records on KUAM.com. The Consolidated Commission on Utilities approved a $33 increase in the average monthly residential power bill, which, if approved by the Public Utilities Commission, will go into effect in February.
As Nestor Lecanto reports, the rise in the fuel surcharge known as the LEAC will still only make up 50% of GPA's estimated $35 million fuel cost under recovery.
The CCU authorized GPA to seek a 3-cent per kilowatt increase from 23.4 cents to 26.4, which means the average residential power bill will go up about $33 a month. GPA says it only covers about half of its projected $35 million in under-recovered fuel costs, but it opted not to recover all of it at this time to once again give ratepayers a break. General Manager John Beneventi.
Because again, we have the financial capability, the working capital to again mitigate this and alleviate the impact. As we have done in the past, we're requesting that we do a 50% recovery and hopefully fuel prices head down. So
the LEAC increase, subject to the approval of the PUC, would go into effect from February 1st to July 31st of next year. The CCU also got an update on another nagging issue for GPA, load shedding. Beneventi says they're working to bring on temporary capacity, and with the repair of the GIGO combustion unit, they hope to have an additional 65 to 80 megawatts of capacity available by May, in time for the hot summer months when demand starts to rise again. The GM also presented data that Commission member Simon Sanchez and others said show it wasn't all that bad.
And in the 90-day period where load shedding became problematic, there was 39 days of load shedding, and there was 51 days in which there was no load shedding. Am I doing that right?
That's correct. Just the 17 minutes again is on the average. No? So
17 minutes a day out of 24 hours of power. Everyone wants 24 hours of power. We want to give them 24 hours of power. On average, based from the real analysis, on average, out of 24 hours, the average citizen in the last 90 days was load shed 17 minutes out of 24 hours.
GPA is also seeking the legislature's help to provide limited exemptions to procurement laws so the badly needed maintenance work isn't constantly delayed by bitter protests. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Thanks, Ness. Well, the governor is hoping senators add her bill to the session agenda authorizing the purchase of Barragata Manila land for a new medical complex. It's one of two bills that identifies a location for Guam's Hospital of the Future. Both have been publicly heard, and senators could add either of both to the agenda if a motion is approved by the body. Leon Guerrero is hopeful they will.
The reason is this. When I make discussions, even whether it's financing in the bond market or the capital market, or funding through federal government, either DOD or Department of Health and Human Services, the one question they ask me is, Governor, is there a site identified? Because we cannot move forward with federal funding if there's no site identified. The site is very key to trigger off all the necessary activities to make and be at the level of construction.
As widely reported, there are two sites under consideration for the new GMH. The governor is pushing for Crown land in Barragata, Manila. Senator Chris Barnett's bill would require a new hospital to be built into money, most especially at Ipoh Point. A bill to extend a program that officials say has been very successful in building the local workforce discussed today during legislative session. Senator Amanda Shelton's measure would extend the Guam Registered Apprenticeship Program, known as GRAP, for another 5 years. She says it has provided valuable opportunities for apprentices in high-demand career fields such as telecommunications, engineering, electrical, and healthcare.
GRAP is an effective means by which to keep jobs and people from leaving the island. It is an example of how what was once an innovative program for dealing with the loss of skilled jobs has become a crucial part of the economic toolkit that we rely on to promote the development of new skills to fill new jobs.
Among those testifying in support of the bill was Labor Director Dave De La Sola. He had high praise for the program, saying it's been one of the best he's seen for training the local unskilled workforce for career opportunities.
Apprentices probably has the best retention rate of any regular employee. In fact, it's federally recognized that an apprentice has a 40% better retention rate than a regular employee that you hire, because you invest in that person and you guide them and work with them, and they're usually appreciative to the point where they stay with the company.
Participating businesses are eligible for tax relief equal to 50% of their training costs, which to date amounts to some $43 million in credits.
That's right, and the program was launched in 2006. Shelton's bill would extend it through 2029. In other news, Marianas for Palestine held a peaceful protest outside the CNMI legislature on Saipan, calling for a permanent ceasefire in the war.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglona reports on the movement, speaking to residents who have a close connection to Palestine.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
A protest outside the Northern Marianas legislature calling for peace on this International Day of Solidarity with Palestine.
Resistance is justified when people are occupied.
Salam Castro Yunus, who is Chamorro Palestinian, is part of the group Marianas for Palestine.
We are here to ask for a ceasefire to stop the killing and the genocide. 8,000 children have been killed by the Israeli military, and we're here to say that that's more than enough. We're asking our leaders, both in the CNMI and Guam, the whole Marianas, to stand up for humanity.
He says killing must end, and the U.S. should stop funding arms to Israel and instead fund health, education, and welfare. Like many others, he's seen the tragic images of the war.
It's been like attending a funeral every day. I can't believe this is happening. It's an abomination. the U.S. is supposed to be standing up for human rights.
Wajdan Subhai Yusufaid is also from Palestine. She and her husband attended the protests with their 2 children.
Genocide is the killing of innocent and children, and it's just very important to speak because there's a lot of misleading news.
She says she lost 9 family members to a bombing at a refugee camp in Gaza. She says Palestinian people are more than just numbers in the war.
They are humans like us, and they have dreams. Each one of them has stories and life, and they're all ambitious, and they were all young and with dreams that were never fulfilled.
Organizers say the tragedy unfolding is connected to issues of militarization and colonization in the Pacific.
If there's a war out here, it's intimately connected to the way that the militarization out here is happening, right? And we also really want to kind of come together to resist this, the billions and billions of dollars that are being poured into Israel weapons systems by the United States.
Protesters were allowed to provide public comment during a Saipan and Northern Ireland's legislative delegation session Wednesday morning. Lawmakers expressed support for the cause.
I would like to ask our Speaker and our Senate President to join the rest of us and the rest of them in our community and draft a letter to convey our message to the world from the Marianas, that we support a ceasefire, we support children, we support life, we support love, we support peace.
The best we could ask is for world peace, and for our children too will not have to see what our grandparents saw during World War II.
In a separate interview after the protest, CNMI delegate Gregorio Sablan shared his perspective as a non-voting member of Congress.
Israel is one of our closest partners in the entire world, closest ally. The only democracy in the Middle East. Hamas is a terrorist organization. It is labeled so by the United States government, our government. But you cannot deny the plight of the Palestinian people. I support two-state solution. That is the only way that there could start a process of reconciliation.
Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas. Well, Des, if it clucks, chirps, coos, and isn't already on island, then it's not coming across our borders.
A live poultry ban has been reinstated following an avian influenza outbreak in the U.S. mainland. Now, no cases were reported locally, and a similar outbreak occurred stateside last year, forcing the Guam Department of Agriculture to implement a partial ban. Cases dropped this past August, but a recent spike again forced agricultural officials to reinstate the ban. This includes all live poultry and hatching eggs. Now, the ban will remain in place until cases drop again. In response, the CDC reports there is currently no immediate health concern.
How old were you when you said your first word?
I'm not too sure, honestly.
I don't know either. Or when you started talking?
Not that either.
No clue.
No.
The answer varies and is different for everyone.
That's right. And tonight we show you a local program that interacts with parents and children. It's a meaningful workshop fostering the communication development of little ones. Parents and educators gathering to amplify these precious voices.
It's with each sound. Between mommy and son.
It's free, you know, and the only thing you can do is learn, or it can actually...
That's one-year-old Evan Munoz talking over his mom, Annette Marie Cruz.
Oh, there you go, baby.
Good job. They joined others today at the Dededo Library for the Babbles, Bubbles, and Booze workshop. The sweet sounds reflecting this nurturing community who are fostering communication, made up of devoted parents, their children, and dedicated educators, all guiding these young ones toward achieving their developmental milestones. The Guam Early Intervention System under the Guam Department of Education hosting family learning sessions like these monthly.
He started receiving services since he was about 2 months, 2.5 months. So since then, like we've been, everything that they offer, we try to take advantage of.
These classes serving as a resource for this mom and her toddler, as Evan, who's on the cusp of turning 2, is nonverbal and is hard of hearing.
A lot of it is trying to see if he understands like what we're doing or what I'm saying or what the adults are saying. So a lot of it is talking to him like he can talk back to me. Yeah, so I mean, I don't do it. He's nonverbal, so he does a lot of sound though, but he's, no words just yet. So a lot of it is just talking to him like any normal child.
It's strategies like these taught by the early intervention folks like Brandon Cobb, a social worker and service provider, that are empowering families and their children to hit their goals.
The reason why we do this here, these workshops, is because we realize that for a lot of our families, communication is the goal, right? They want their babies to talk, they want their babies to communicate. So these strategies are specifically tailored towards that goal.
Those workshops receiving resounding positive feedback.
We just love it. Like everything that they introduce to us, I always implement with him.
It's nice to hear that our families are benefiting from it and that it's working for them. One of the things that I really love is hearing that child's voice for the first time. I think that's why communication is such a big thing for our families, is because they have this child that they spend every day with, but they don't know what their voice sounds like. So by hearing that first word or that first sentence, it's such a beautiful thing.
It's meaningful work that Cobb says is available for families and their children.
For those who don't know, we're here. We're under DOE. Make us work, right? We're here to serve you guys. For those who are a little hesitant, I get it. It's scary to admit that your child may not be where everybody else is or where you want your child to be. That's okay. We're here to help.
Help and a lesson for children like little Evan.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I had a great time. Thank
Nice
you
story
guys.
there, Des.
Thank you so much. Okay, for more information about the workshop, contact Guam Early Intervention System at 671-300-5776 or email geis@gdoe.net.
Time for a quick break, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leader in local news.
Peacock is streaming your NBC local station now.
A tip, sending police.
Get your local news and weather.
Oh, definitely one of a kind.
At home or on the go.
Mitigation process.
Plus, your favorite NBC shows. From morning till night, live.
Welcome to Today. So good to have you with us.
You make a great team, huh?
And so much more.
Welcome aboard.
That was awesome.
All in one place. Streaming now on Peacock.
Hi folks, Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C., run the road to the White House. Today we're going to talk about store closures and the massive theft going on across the country. You know, the wife and I owned a dozen retail stores, a production workshop, manufacturing business, a wholesale business, a craft show business. And when I was a young man, I lived in East Asia for 10 years working in the manufacturing world. The real problem today is both inflation and we have lost millions of mom and pop businesses. The middle class has been decimated. We have too much business concentration in the hands of big box stores. This is true with the small family farms as well. America is losing its resiliency. We are living on borrowed time as something like war or climate impacts will push America into near or quasi-near anarchy. Let's rebuild the American cottage industry. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com, donate what you can, join Team America, and together we will make it work for all of us.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
While you've been waiting to see if EVs are a thing, my dad went electric.
Up to 360 miles on a single charge.
And if my dad's on board, yours could be next.
You know, I'm doing this for the next generation.
Dad, we are not having the grandkids conversation again.
No, I'm just saying EVs are good for any generation. Or all generations. Generationally good.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. Only at KFC Guam. Whoops. Well, it is finger-licking good.
what you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to Primetime. The Ukadu Power Plant is not the only big new major construction project slated for that area of Dededo. The Guam Hybrid Land Use Commission has approved a zone variance for two 20-story, 204 feet high condominium buildings to be known as Iger Tower. The developer is Maui Development LLC and was represented at the Gluck meeting by W.B. Flores and Associates. They were approved for a height variance of 174 feet above the maximum allowed in the M1 Light Industrial Zone.
Eager to see it. The 335 multifamily development will include 2 to 3 and 4 bedroom units. According to planning documents presented to commissioners, the complex will also contain a pair of basketball and tennis courts and a swimming pool. Dededo Mayor and Gluck member Melissa Savara says 3 public meetings were held in Dededo on the project. Every couple that's been married for a significant amount of time is always asked the same question: what's the secret to a happy marriage?
Jenna Gincharfer sought out former Senators Larry and Carmen Kasperber, who recently celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary, to find out just that.
Larry and Carmen Kasperbauer still look at one another with adoring eyes, even after 65 years of marriage. In their presence, you can truly feel and see the love they have for one another. And how fitting that they're both wearing blue. 65 years is known as the Blue Sapphire Wedding Anniversary. The two met in the early 1950s while Larry Kasperbauer was attending college at Iowa State University and Carmen Kasperbauer, then Artero, was attending St. Anthony School of Nursing with their future sister-in-law Marianne, who was her roommate during her freshman year and who she became instant friends with. She recalls their first encounter in a science lab where she was dissecting a frog for class.
And he walked into the class. His sister Marianne was my classmate in nursing, and she was brought him and introduced him to me. And instead of saying hi, hello, I'm glad to meet you, he said, oh look, I made the perfect dissection of the central nervous system.
Several months later, the two would meet again.
My sister called me because she had a date that night, and my mom apparently told her she couldn't go on a date because Carmen was visiting there. So my sister called me at the university 90 miles away or 70 miles away. You have to help come and be a date for my classmate.
The two would have a memorable evening at Starlight Ballroom.
I loved to dance. I used to dance jitterbug and rumba, samba, waltz. But he was not a dancer, so I spent a whole lot of time trying to teach him how to dance. But we both enjoyed ourselves very much.
It would be the start of their happily ever after. After talks of marriage, getting engaged, and working hard to save up for the wedding, the couple would exchange vows on November 22nd, 1958 at the Newman Center Catholic Chapel in front of family and close friends. In 1967, the Kasperbauers moved to Guam, where they have been ever since. Their love continues to serve as a foundation for their family that includes 5 children, Kevin, Karen, Brian, Stephen, and Teresa, 19 grandchildren, 17 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild.
Try to do our best by example, but we know that everybody is their own self. And none of your children are going to be like you or like you maybe think they should be, because they all are independent.
So of course, I had to ask, what is the secret to a lasting, loving, and happy marriage?
If you have God center in your life, no matter how hard things are, you're going to be joyful and happy. And nothing is going to be too hard, because when you have God in with you, you know that everything will go right no matter how hard it is.
That is how they live their life.
I attributed everything that we have to His love, and this is part of His material reward to our life. And I hope that other people who have struggling time in their married life can see that if you have God in the center of your married life, you will be strong.
The other thing they said they try to adhere to:
if you have any difference or problems, resolve it before you go to sleep. Don't go to sleep with facing the opposite directions and not talking to each other. Resolve it.
It's a love that inspires and gives hope to others that forever love does exist. Jenigan Charfris, KUAM News.
Beautiful there. Happy
Beautiful.
Anniversary to the Casper Bowers.
Yes, happy anniversary, lovebirds. All right, in other loving news, yesterday was Giving Tuesday, the International Day of Kindness and Generosity, and it also happens during the G is for Giving campaign. The campaign encourages island residents to give to the UOG Endowment Foundation. Donations received on Giving Tuesday go directly to support scholarships. Tuesday outreach was hosted at the Jesus and Eugenia Leon Guerrero School of Business and Public Administration building. You can visit the UOG Endowment Foundation at the Dean Circle, house number 10, to drop off your green envelope donations.
You can also visit give.uog.edu to make a donation. Everyone has made a donation to the UOG Endowment Foundation during the G is for Giving campaign, who will automatically be entered into the G is for Giving raffle at the end of the season. For more information, follow at UOG Endowment on Instagram.
Well, many of you are feeling the holiday spirit already, and right?
Yeah,
I know you are a little chilly. And what better way to help you celebrate this time of year than to make budgeting, you know, a little bit easier, right?
Right. Here's this week's Holiday 101.
Holiday 101 is presented by Coast 360 Federal Credit Union.
Don't break the bank to have a Merry Christmas. Stephen Pangolinan and Andrew Borja with Coast 360 tell us how to make that a reality.
Every time around the holidays, when it comes to thinking about your budget, it can't always be too simple, I imagine.
Well, it can be simple because it's as easy as just a pen and paper. Okay. All you have to do is just write down the money that you receive, as well as what you plan to spend out, correct? And so it's pretty much like what we call a cash flow analysis or a budget plan. So if you do spend more, or if your expenses are more than the income you receive, then we're kind of in a very, very difficult situation. What we want to do is either balance the budget or at least have more income coming in than the expenses going out.
When we get gifts for the family, you know, sometimes we do go overboard. So having a budget plan ahead of time, you know, how much you want to spend for your family members, knowing how much you're going to spend ahead of time will help you plan for the holidays, because you don't really want to compromise, you know, your expenses.
So avoid compromising your spending.
Have a routine. You know, no different when you have a hair routine, a job routine, anything we do, a coffee routine. Have a routine, and so not to go overboard, it has to start with savings, right? Meaning we can't just get into the holiday and just start spending right away, correct? You have to build at least a nest egg or some cash flow so you can spend. And so not to go overboard, again, stick to the budget. Like what Andrew just mentioned, just the same. Have a list and keep to the budget.
Set aside cash specifically for certain events, like set aside cash for gifts, set aside cash for events and family gatherings will help you really plan for the holiday season.
You can come over to Coast 360, I'm sure, and open a savings account if you want to get started there too, huh?
Yes, and if you're talking about savings account, we do have a Christmas Club account.
Also, you'll want to read the fine print for those purchases.
A lot of the times, especially here on Guam, you know, we order things from online, and sometimes when we order these things online, there are some shipping fees that we don't necessarily take into consideration when we first order. So looking for the websites that do offer free shipping, especially to Guam, will probably help when it comes to budgeting for the holiday season. When it comes to taxes, you know, especially if you're ordering in the States, we don't have, you know, state tax here. Or in the States, if you ordered online, you could be, you know, charged for additional taxes depending on where you get it. So set aside a little bit of money just for that when it comes to ordering, especially if you're ordering online. That will help you, I guess, get a little bit of an idea of how much you're actually spending versus what you know, set aside for gifts.
And see how you can get the best bang for your buck.
Cut down the cost is more of just finding a good deal, right? And so there are stores that offer coupons, even for websites. They have rebates, as well as you can compare and prices as well as the reviews for all the products that they are selling. So you can at least make an informative decision as well. But in terms of not breaking the budget and still, making everybody happy, again, it's not necessarily the amount that you spend, but the heart or what you put into the gift. So it could be a personalized gift and not necessarily a purchase gift.
Balancing out how much you divvy is also another way to keep your spending from getting out of hand.
Areas when you're living, especially like things like power. We want to put up the Christmas tree, we want to put up Christmas lights, and make sure to turn off the lights before you go to bed, so that way you don't have the exorbitant power bill. Cut down on, I guess, the family gatherings. Sometimes we get a little bit lazy, we don't want to go out, we don't want to cook in, and we want to go out to eat. Sometimes, taking the time to put some effort, put some love and care into the food that you cook for your family will help reduce your expenses for the holidays by saving money on going out to eat.
And one such savings tip is also your groceries. Notice that sometimes when we go to the store, we want to buy everything because it all looks yummy and good. But many times we have already the same stuff that's already sitting in our refrigerator or cabinets. And so many times our budget is actually affected by one particular component, which would be the food bill. But that can be controlled easily by making some different lifestyle choices as well. And even if not lifestyle choices, economic choices to at least budget and not necessarily go after the steak. You could do some tuna casserole once in a while, and just to save some money that way. So it doesn't break the budget as well as continuous savings for the holidays.
And in case you were wondering,
an important question for a lot of the shoppers out there, whether they're manumku or they just got out of high school, better to shop using cash or credit cards? We'll start with these two.
Well, if you're going to start with me, I'm going to talk about my mom. She uses not the envelope method, but the grab snack bag, plastic bags from Ziploc. And so she puts in those dollar bills in there, and she allocates it actually for certain expenses, whether it be for, her purchases for medication, whether it be for purchases for any items, or even for gifting for her grandchildren. And so she just itemizes a little bit at a time from, her source of income, and she allocates it throughout the whole year. Like I said, everything is becoming a routine. It's best that it becomes a routine and not forced, because when it becomes a routine, it becomes a habit. And so using cash would be best, just the same as because you don't overspend what you actually saved up for.
Every penny counts.
Yes. And my mom is very tight. She wants to see in the Ziploc bag, if there's a change, there better be coins in that Ziploc bag.
Okay. Andrew, cash is your preference as well, or credit card?
It's a little bit of both. It's a good mixture. I really agree with Stephen when it comes to budgeting. Having cash set aside is key. You don't. It prevents you from overspending. So if you have a certain amount of cash set aside, that's all you're going to spend. When it comes to credit cards, it's very, very easy to overspend when it comes to just swiping your card and purchasing things for the holiday season. But it is a good tool to use when it comes to things like unexpected expenses. Emergencies do happen. Let's say you're out shopping and the car breaks down. You want to have an emergency method of paying for any unanticipated expenses, so that way you kind of defer the payments for later on, giving you more cash for the holidays.
Holiday 101 is presented by Coast 360 Federal Credit Union.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured at Micro Beach on Saipan.
This view plus more tomorrow music streaming now on Isla Digital Radio.
It's Christmas in the islands, you hear the people say. It's Christmas in the islands, the old Chamorro way. They serve Lanella's Nagu in just the same old way. It's fine and good, it's good money, the old Chamorro way.
Zoom Zoom! 'Tis the season for speed, and Docomo Pacific is putting prepaid customers in the fast lane. Starting November 3rd, 2023 to January 31st, 2024, every $5 prepaid card purchase from a participating store gives Docomo Pacific customers a chance to win a brand new Mazda 3. So load up at participating stores and drop off your entry to any Docomo Pacific retail store. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com for details.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Triple treat box, 3 layers deep, 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat, 5 breadsticks, and a pizza plus another pizza. Triple treat box, only from Pizza Hut.
Are you ready to drive into the future? Introducing the all-new BMW i Family, Guam's only all-electric luxury vehicle. Be a part of the electrifying future with the all-new BMW i Family. Now available at Atkins Kroll.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
You just caught us baking, Jay.
Hello.
We just finished baking a pumpkin bread.
There we go. This is a very special edition of House to Home. That's Liz, that's Gina, I'm Jason behind the camera. We're doing something we haven't done literally in years. We're gonna actually show very well, Liz, because it's good enough to be your home as well.
Yes, I live in the building, but this unit is for sale, and this is unit 8B, but it's a beautiful home, great for someone to buy it for Christmas.
Okay, now I'm having fun standing in the doorway, but I would love to see this place. All right.
Jace. Check it out.
Wow. Okay, so Liz, give us some of the rundown, the specs. What are we looking at in terms of like square footage?
This particular unit is 3 bedrooms, and as you can see, you've got panoramic ocean views, wide open kitchen. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Square footage is about 2,000 square feet. Other units here are about 2,350. The owner of this unit has 2 units side by side, and he made this just a tad smaller. But as you can see, it's amazing, especially with the views.
Okay, now Gina, is this what people would call, I'm just realizing, is this something like what they would call like an executive home where like...
Definitely, this is...
But this is also very livable.
Yeah, this is luxury living on the beach. I mean, take a look at this, Jason. How could you compare that to anything else, right? For, you know, for people that are in the market that are looking for something with beachfront, ocean view, this is pretty much the cream of the crop, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. You can just walk onto the beach if you take a look. Your white sandy beaches of Tula Bay. And the highlight is we have Clyde, who comes by. He's a stingray who swims right on Tumon Bay. And that family has grown. There was one video taking of 3 other baby stingrays.
Yes. The selfies you are going to be able to take here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, investors and owners, is very, very, very interesting. But Gina, of course, you said this is 3 bedrooms, 2
bedrooms, 2 bath.
Can we take a look at some of those?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, now this is the master bedroom, right?
This is the master
This is the master bedroom.
Yeah, master bath. And we're encouraged nowadays to call it the primary room.
Okay.
Primary room.
Everybody's being politically correct these days, right?
Or silly, you know, one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm not calling this the primary restroom like Liz. This is premium bathroom right here.
Yes, this is it. You've got your jacuzzi tub.
Jacuzzi and a shower right next to each other. This is relaxing just looking at it.
Yep. Get a glass of wine, fill the tub, have a nice relaxing afternoon.
And you know what? I love the show Miami Vice. I am all about the glass bricks. I love those.
Lots of closet space, Jace.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of closet space. And you know, I mean, some people just want Tumon.
This is lovely too. That's a very nice touch. If you get, if you get like the right, like Venetian blinds and everything like that in the middle of the day when we're shooting this, that's really cool too. I'm very easily impressed, as you can tell. And this is available right now. This is on the market. This is listed in MLS right now.
It's listed in MLS.
I doubt by the time we finish recording this episode that this thing is still going to be on the market. So jump now, everybody.
Well, it'd be a great holiday gift. What do you think?
How long has it been on the market?
It's been on the market a couple months because the owner was actually painting. He wanted to make sure the unit was ready. He put in brand new blinds, painted the whole interior of the unit, got it ready.
Okay, so it wasn't one of those, you know, like as-is units and everything like that. He really did get this ready for the right buyer.
That's correct.
Yeah. Most owners that own these types of luxury units, they make a lot of effort before it gets on the market. They put in what they need to do to make it show well. I mean, you're investing a good sum of money, and they want it to be worth it for you.
How much is this going for?
This is 1.6 million.
All right. It's certainly worth the money. And like ladies, let's end. I was gonna say where we started. Any time of day, Tumon Bay, day or night, looks absolutely picturesque. I mean, it would be impossible to create a painting this beautiful.
That's right.
Let's go outside, actually.
And you know, to find beachfront Tumon Bay these days in a building like this is near impossible.
Yeah, and at this time, I mean, we're shooting this at about 2:30 in the afternoon when we're recording this. It's not hot outside like I thought it was going to be at all. The exposure is very nice. You get a really nice island breeze.
Yes.
But it's not, you know, like, obviously you're not windblown from this.
No, you come home at the end of the day, you sit out here.
Have a glass of wine, do some reading.
Yeah, absolutely. The tranquility.
Where can you go wrong?
Yeah.
Look at that.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Villa Contentasi. That's the kids call it VKT, but
Yes.
you can call it home if you check out Remax Diamond Realty.
Absolutely.
Ladies, thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Jace.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Of course, now we're coming off of Thanksgiving, so a lot of people are looking to burn off the holiday calories.
Yes.
But you're also doing this, of course, to continue to support those who served.
So the way it got started, we were trying to find how can we present ourselves to the community, and we found out that diabetes awareness run used to be a very popular event, a very historical event, and it died out when Mr. Carl Butler passed away, and he was a veteran. And so when we found out he was a veteran and that this event died out, we're like, perfect, you know, why don't we bring it back up and promote what his dream was, and to communicate and educate others about diabetes. And that's how it got started. We started speaking to his wife, Miss
Winnie,
Winnie,
yeah. Auntie Winnie is absolutely amazing, and it is, of course, Diabetes Awareness Month, and they just had the conference last weekend.
So it all tied up to our, you know, our intentions and, you know, our heart. You know, our passion is to reach out, the island, the community, the veterans that deal with this issue, and now we've been going
really
hard
excited.
at it.
She's like, she came back on island. She's like, oh, I'm so excited for our run coming up this weekend.
And let me ask you, since you guys are relatively like a new organization here, I mean, we welcome everyone who wants to give back and serve Guam, but you guys are also part of another amazing community, is all of the other MCs, you know, the motorcycle clubs, and like, so how has been the relationship with, you know, like the Hogs and Cheluship and, you know, even like the regional ones? Because I mean, it really is like one family.
Yes, it's good. You know, we get together a lot when there's a funeral escort for the veterans that have fallen or anyone else. They put out the invitation to come out and support funeral escort. So we'll see members from different motorcycle clubs coming together to bring, you know, a fellow comrade, if you will, to their final resting place, or a family member of a veteran, or just someone that is close with the community, and we take them to their final resting place.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. Today, I am here with Tia Munya Agan, who is a plethora of different, she wears many hats, but she is a certified life coach and a Reiki practitioner. Welcome, Tia. Thank you for being here. So we were just talking a little bit about your background and the different things that you practice and you offer the island. Can you just share with our viewers some of the things?
Yeah, so it is many different things. Really, the work that I do is in the spiritual realm, dealing with the soul and the essence of who we are, and bringing us back to what that looks like. So it does come through in terms of Reiki healing, where we deal with energy and we kind of get this balancing back. And then when it comes to the life coaching, it's really more of soul support, I want to say. So whether you're feeling anxious or stressed, overwhelmed, sometimes that can happen in like life's fog, right? We just kind of get discombobulated, so to speak,
right.
distracted, feeling like out of alignment. And I like to help bring people back to that through the coaching.
Nice.
So we do a lot of mind work in the sense of tapping into the subconscious. If we're feeling things like stress and overwhelm, then maybe there's some programming behind that, and we can peel back those layers and then bring back your authentic self, or the essence of the trueness of you. And so we can go back in and reprogram the mind and whatnot.
Nice.
I do some spiritual work in terms of psychic mediumship, and I like to say that I just go where spirit leads.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think for most people, you know, because this weekly renewal is based loosely on holistic health. So can you, like, when you say spiritual, you say spiritual counseling or spiritual
Spiritual mentorship, yeah.
Mentorship. So does this involve, this goes beyond dogmatic religion, right? This is more speaking on soul level, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, on a soul level. So my business is called Waidua Wellness.
Say it again?
Waidua Wellness.
Okay.
And Waidua is actually a Maori term. One of my friends from New Zealand blessed me with that. And as soon as she said it, I knew. I was like, oh, okay, so that's the business name, because she said that it was your essence, your aura, your spirit,
right.
The part of you that is always there. And so I automatically knew. Actually, I've been putting out feelers for, okay, I know my business name is supposed to be something, but I'm not sure what it is. So anyway, when she told me that, I was like, oh, okay.
What inspired you to go down this route? Because we were talking earlier and you saying initially you were working as a counselor, or that was more of your interest.
Yeah.
Therapy.
So I've always known that I was a helper. I've always been called to serve people. And at what capacity, it just depended on the day, I guess. So even today, it's whenever anyone's talking to me or we're gonna do work of some sort together, even when someone asks, what do you do, or how would you describe what it is that you do, I always I'm like, it depends on what journey you want to go on. What kind of support do you feel like you could use?
Yeah.
And then it organically comes out.
And you've come back to Guam, you've been back just a few months.
Yes.
And you're doing one-on-ones, do you do group sessions, or?
Yeah, so I have a one-on-one container, quite a few different offerings. I know I'm being called to do group classes, ceremonies, circles, all those types of things. So I have a really special clearing ceremony for a couple that's about to get married soon. So
nice.
Like all sorts of
right.
It just depends on the conversation.
And I feel, especially after these past few years, after going through COVID, going through lockdown, going through an entanglement of, I would think, energies of fear and whatnot, I'm sure you have more and more people coming or seeking a deeper healing that goes beyond the body.
Yeah, I think they're opening up to it.
Yeah, yeah. So where can people find you?
So Instagram is probably the easiest way. Wairua Wellness, WAIRUA Wellness. And then from there we can chat on a private message, or we can set up a free connection call. I love to do that with everyone who feels open to that and that's in alignment, to see what else is possible.
Right.
Going through what they're looking for, and then again, how I can best support them. And there's so many different offerings that they can choose from. Locally here, I work out of a Agani Day Spa. And then wherever the island calls us, so if you're feeling like being out in nature, we can do that too. And then we also do Zoom sessions.
Okay.
I have that available as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your work. Much needed. Thank you all. I'll see you next time on your Weekly Renewal.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
In 2022, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 won the award for World Car of the Year. So, of course, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 just had to go out and win World Car of the Year for 2023. Because everyone knows how competitive sibling rivalries can be. World Car of the Year, 2 years in a row.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
Calvo Select Care's comprehensive medical provider network offers our members choice and access to quality facilities locally in Asia, Hawaii, and the continental United States. We provide our members several wellness programs and healthy options to improve their overall health status. Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants, enroll today.
Zoom Zoom! 'Tis the season for speed, and Docomo Pacific is putting prepaid customers in the fast lane. Starting November 3rd, 2023 to January 31st, 2024, every $5 prepaid card purchase from a participating store gives Docomo Pacific customers a chance to win a brand new Mazda 3. So load up at participating stores and drop off your entry to any Docomo Pacific retail store. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com for details.
All right, everybody, my second home. Who am I kidding? I never leave KUAM, but you know what? My second home truly is Agana Heights. I grew up there. That's where my grandparents are from. And the wonderful village in Central Guam is inviting you to a merry and bright Christmas lighting at Tatuan Park. It's Friday at 6 p.m. The Agana Heights community is very, very hospitable and wonderful, and they want to watch. They want to invite you while they light the tree at Tatuan Park. Awesome. Sanctuary is celebrating 52 years of continued service with a thank you wave. And we thank you, Sanctuary, for what you are doing. Yes, Biba, absolutely. November 30th at Chief Kapua Loop from 4 to 5 p.m. And if you're in Saipan, the Memorial Park, American Memorial Park, is presenting Operation Christmas Card Making with Jill Aronofsky. Create Christmas cards for military servicemen and women Saturday at 9 a.m. All right, Nick and Destiny. It's cold here in the studio. We got that new aircon really blowing. Back to you guys.
Burr, we agree. I'm sure he misses his little microphone in front of him too.
I'm sure, honestly.
It's birthday wishes time now.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutout submitted on KUAM.com.
A very, very wonderful and heartfelt happy birthday on this November 29th to Lucia G. McDonald, and happy birthday to our matriarch, the wonderful Miss Lucia of Agana Heights. May your 97th year be filled with good health, happiness, and all the blessings. Miss McDonald, we wish you blessings here from KUAM as well, and we wish you a very happy 97th birthday. Also, happy birthday to another wonderful mom. This is Helen Santos, and Helen, your family is saying happy birthday to our beloved mom, so we hope you have a good one. And a single belated birthday wish going out to Kairos Donato, who was born on the 16th, who celebrates birthday number 5. Your birth, your family says, is indeed an opportune time. We love you, son. Say Dad, Mom, Gabby, and Gideon. And a very special happy birthday number 15 to KUAM Kid Forever, Michael Paul Villagomez, an amazing young man, a talented artist, really, really good in math too, you guys. He's doing really well in school. Salutatorian of his class last year, by the way. Mikey, we've known you obviously since you were a little kid, and you're growing up to be a very, very responsible young man. Your parents are incredibly proud of you, and they love you very much. And we wish you, 15-year-old, a very happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, KUAM Kid Michael Paul.
Happy birthday. Have the best one yet.
I like salmon sushi too.
Ooh, same.
That's your primetime show. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Mick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Stay